everyone, and welcome to SAF Ready the Podcast here at the University of Waterloo. On this podcast, we will have a variety of guests, students, faculty, and staff to let you in on all that the School of Accounting and Finance has to offer. I'm Sam, and I'll be your host. We want to ensure that you're hearing everything that you want to know about the School of Accounting and Finance. So after listening to episodes, feel free to DM us on a variety of social chains, as well as send us an email at saf@uwaterloo.ca with any more questions, topics, or people that you want to hear from. Tune in for our next episode on Buzzsprout, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Honestly, any platform that offers a podcast, we're most likely on it. Today, we have Aline joining us today. She is a current AFM student and is going to talk today all about things knowledge about the program and just kind of day-to-day existence. We're just going to kind of dive in right here. So I kind of gave it away about your program, but what program are you in and what year are you in?
I'm in the Accounting and Financial Management program. I'm currently in my third year.
Nice. So we're just going to kind of dive into just like everything that you kind of like been enjoying about like the generals of the program, not just overall understanding. So what would you say some of your favorite courses have been so far? And like, could you give like a little synopsis, I guess, of each course?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of like first year courses, I remember I really liked the introductory courses to entrepreneurship. There's one course that's called Bet 100, and basically it just gives you like an outline of like entrepreneurship, the different types of businesses that you can have, a sole proprietorship, a partnership, a corporation, and a bunch of other types of businesses. And it's really fun because there's a lot of assignments. And they might have changed up the course a little bit now, but when I took it, it was online. But it was very fun. The prof was also really cool, so I really enjoy that one. But I guess my old-time favorite AFM course is an elective that I took last fall. Okay. And is this course called Equity Investments. Oh, okay. And it's taught by Professor Ecclestone, Professor Andrew Ecclestone. He's an amazing prof, really loved him. And it's a very small classroom. Okay. Which was my current elective, which is my all-time favorite course ever. Like, it's not accounting related, but certainly it's like a soundtrack to film.
My friend took that course.
It's so amazing.
So good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's kind of nice that you get to like have that like flexibility with AFM, that you get to still kind of explore your other interests with electives and stuff, because I think that's sometimes with some courses it feels like you have no room to breathe. Yeah. So it's kind of nice that AFM offers you a little bit of like room to play and finding out other interests and getting to do that at university levels. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so sorry, you were saying about your favorite course in AFM. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, in AFM, it was this equity investment course, which is a smaller classroom, not that many students, and also no finals. So you will be doing, I think it was one midterm, and it's very fun because I really like finance, and it's something that I'm interested in, especially in terms of stocks. And there aren't a lot of courses that you can take that talk about stocks or how to like actually, it's more for someone who would be like on the floor of like
living your Wall Street life.
I know.
What's the Canadian version? Bank Street? No, it's Bay Street.
Bay Street.
Okay.
Bay Street. But it was very fun because we did like stock simulations. Oh, cool. So we would go to like the computer lab, and then we used this platform that was created by the University of Toronto. But it was very, very fun because every day we would go to class, we would go to the lab, and then he would give us, so this is what you'll be doing today. You're going to try to short these stocks. And it would be kind of like a competition because you get to see who's like on the top from your class. Gotcha. So that was really fun and very different from like most courses here. You also get to do a presentation, but because it's like a small classroom, it's not so intimidating. Yeah. So it's very good to practice your like presentation skills and learn more about stocks and equity investments. And at the very end, you have to do a market research report. Oh, okay. So it was very fun. It's like an overall, if you're interested in finance, if you're trying to get to like the big banks, become an investment banker, like most students who come here want to.
Finance, bro.
Yep. That's the way to go. That's a great course. I really loved it.
Okay, cool. Definitely definitely something to look out for. That's really fun. Yeah, no, I like that you get to like, it feels like kind of like that. It sounds like it's like a real world simulation. Like if you were going to be like working on the ground floor, it's kind of like they're giving you that like whole experience of like, oh, this is what it would be like, and give it a go, you know? So that's kind of fun. I love that.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I guess that's actually kind of a nice way to move into the next question. Is kind of like, would you say there's like a good mixture of like classwork, assignments, tests, exams? So like you feel like you have like it's not all like test work, it's just like a bit of both. Like what can you kind of describe overall?
Yeah, I think especially like all throughout the years is not like just in first year, second year, or third year. There's always a good mix of the assignments that you have to do. There's a lot of group projects that you have to do. And I feel like it's perfect because it translates very well into your actual like workspace, because especially if you're interested in going into audit or tax, you'll be working in teams. So it's very important to build those skills and be able to work with other people, because it's not always that you'll get along with everyone. So
it's learning to work with people that you kind of like collide with, but I guess that's just kind of like life. I feel like you can never escape it. I'm like, oh well, like once I graduate, and it's like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest test, is not like how you like do the work, but like how you get along with other people. But yeah, it's a good mixture, because you won't be like stuck with the same team all the time. You'll be switching. You'll be doing actual like individual work. There's some like individual assignments that you have to do, some tests. Some courses have like no finals at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So it's like maybe just a midterm and a couple of quizzes and whatnot. So most of them, they're all laid out differently. So there'll be something for everyone, and you'll figure out later on which ones you like the most.
Exactly.
But there's definitely a good mixture of like the course load.
That's good. Yeah. Cause I feel like when you like move into like university, I think we all have that expectation of like the giant, when you see the pack, like, they have it all set up for exams, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my life. And so it's kind of nice that they have like that breakup and you feel like you get to like kind of hone to your own skills. Because I know like personally for myself, testing is not my strength. I am much more of a project person, but I also know that there's like people that are the opposite way. So I think it's like nice that there's like a good amount of like breakup between for all that fun stuff. But yeah, do you have any, speaking of kind of going into like types of like testing and things like that, what advice would you have for transitioning study patterns from like high school to university? Like what's kind of like your go-to when you're studying for an exam or a midterm or something like that?
For sure. I think in high school, people don't study as much. I feel like the thing with high school is that you get a lot of help from your teachers. Not to say that you don't get help from your professors, but in terms of like reminding you of what you're going to do and reminding you, oh, you have to study this, this, and that. They do tell you in advance. Professors are very helpful, but you do have to take it into your own hands to practice every day after class. You won't get homework assignments. Like most of the time you won't be like, now for some courses they've been implementing it where you have to submit some things for grades, but most of the time you won't get homework assigned and be like, oh, you have to practice this. You actually have to practice yourself. Yeah. I feel like my biggest tip would be, don't leave it for the day before or even the week before a major assignment or assessment. Just every day after class, go and revisit what you did.
It's still fresh.
Exactly. Just like take notes, be like, oh, I didn't really get this in class. Actually attend lectures and seminars. I know it can be tough because for some of them, they don't really have attendance and you won't be getting a notification sent home that you didn't attend class.
Yeah.
But
also just like you're paying for it.
Exactly.
Just go. Like, why not? I feel like you're just gonna get more knowledge, and then you also just get to like make a connection with the prof more if you're in class. Like, I know for a fact that like profs remember who comes to class.
They do.
They're like, the final shows up and they're like, I haven't seen you in like a month, and you're like, oops.
They do, because last term, which was my fall term because I was working during the winter, I attended almost every single office hour for one of my professors. And I remembered after my exam, he was like, thank you so much for your curiosity. Like, I really enjoyed having you in my class. And like,
so
they really
nice.
do remember you. Like, he knows me by my name now. Every time that he sees me in the hallway, he's all like, hi, Aline. And he even asked like, oh, do you want to join like this course that I'm doing right now? If you want to join it, like there's space. I mean, he said that there wasn't space, but he'll make space for me.
Oh my goodness, that's so nice.
So definitely go to class, go to office hours to talk to your profs, or even like, it's a great opportunity for you to meet people so you can reach out to them if you're like intimidated to like ask the prof, ask someone else like, hey, did you get this that the prof said or something?
Yeah, office hours got me through some first year courses, I swear. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, and like, I know it can feel like, it's also like when you go into a lecture of like 100 people, it's like kind of intimidating to be like,
yeah.
Let me just raise my hand real quick. I'm sorry. So it's nice that like office hours is like one-on-one, or like there's maybe just like 5 or 6 students that actually show up to office hours. So it's nice to like just have that more like connected time with the prof where you're not in front of everybody. Because I know you're like, but I will say though, 9 times out of 10, if you're like, oh my gosh, my question is stupid, it is not stupid. Someone was thinking that, and you're just the one who's saying it. So no question is a stupid question. I feel like that's a rule of thumb in university.
For sure. Even fun facts. I've learned that professors really enjoy fun facts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I started giving out fun facts, and then, or one time, or just recently, we were in my ethics class, and then the professor said something, and then I just quickly like Googled it, like what it was, like what the amount that they had committed the fraud for was like now currently. And then I told her after class, because I didn't want to disrupt it. She was like, you should have just said it in class. Like, I love fun facts.
That's so good. I love that. But yeah, no, anyway, that's great. Yeah, no, 10 out of 10. But no, definitely taking that time to like do the work outside of class. I think that like there are so many resources available. I think that's also something that like I feel like when you get to university, you're like, oh, no one's like telling me what to do.
Oh yeah,
I don't have anybody to like reach out to. We have the resources available. You just now have to be the person that reaches out for them. It's more of like a, you need help, I need to get out there and get the help, but it's not like it's unavailable to you, which I think is also a bit of a misconception. So definitely don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
And especially like coming into university, trying to find your groove or trying to find how you study best. Like if you're a morning person, try to switch your classes to later on in the day so you can study by yourself and have like the motivation to actually do it. That's one thing that like it took me this whole time, like 3 years to figure out, but I'm very much a morning person, and it gets to about like 7 p.m. and I can't study. I can't do anything. Yeah. So I switch, or most of my classes are now like in the afternoons or evenings.
Oh, so then, you're just getting the information.
Yeah, I prep before going to class. So I never go to class without like reading or trying to like even just look at the slides, because the professors post the slides before. Just look at the slides, see what the class is going to be about. And then when you get there, it's going to make such a difference because you won't be lost the entire time. Yeah. You'll have questions to ask the professor after. And then once you go, class is done, you only really have to do exercises, especially for anything that's like finance or accounting, where you have to do, or they give you questions where you have to like actually practice like the math behind it, or it's not just like memorization. Definitely do exercises after class so you can like solidify everything that you learned.
Just feel like really good about it, because then it's like I also feel like it's just the best prep for the exam, because then if you do them after class and they're already set for you, and then you can just like redo them when you're studying for exams or midterms, which I think is like super handy, because then the answer is like already there. You don't have to be like, oh, I should go back and do these exercises to help me prep, but I don't remember the answer, you know. So it's kind of nice to have like that bit of a mixture there, which is really cool. But yeah, no, definitely, that's really good advice. I didn't even think about like doing like switching my, that's so smart, because I'm like, oh, I'll put my, I'm like more of a morning person, so I'll do the classes in the morning. That's so smart. But yeah. Not me going and rearranging my schedule for the fall. But yeah, so you were just saying how you had a work term. So yeah, co-op is a huge part of the graduate program at SAF. When starting your job, especially your first job, I know it can be daunting. Do you have any like tips for like prepping for your first co-op job?
Prepping for your first co-op job, the first thing that you'll be tasked with is just doing the PD courses where it'll be you trying to get or learn about the soft skills, because the technical skills you get from the courses that you're already doing, but PD will, which is our professional development courses, they'll help you with your soft skills and just the basics of how to act professionally. So that would be your first step to getting ready. Then definitely going out and using the resources that we have at the university to just really make sure that you have your resume to the best of like what it can be.
Yeah.
So go to our career center or even the student success office. I believe that they do it as well.
Yeah,
but
they definitely do too.
They have mock resume critique, or not mock resume critiques, but just resume critiques that they have.
Yeah.
And they'll really help you out with your resume, so you make sure that it's pristine and has everything that you want to convey, because that's going to be like how you're going to set yourself before getting an interview. So definitely make sure that your resume is like, it's good.
Yeah, I know. I think it's also like, I think I talk about this like in an episode about co-op, but like they tell you how to like structure your episode to like highlight your skills, which I think was like something I didn't know about. I think like when we were like growing up, we're like, you put your experience, newest to oldest, and then like whatever. They really like show you how you can like change it up and like make it highlight to what the job that you're applying for, not just like your overall experience.
And even a big thing with resumes is not only outlining what you did, but like what you accomplished through it. Like if you have anything like, oh, you were a camp counselor and you helped out like 10 students, but like what difference did you make? Like, oh, you made sure that the one student that always used to get lost in the past didn't get lost or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, mock interviews, those are really good to go and get some practice in for because interviews can be very intimidating. It can be like the worst thing.
The Zoom ones where you're like, where do I look? Yeah. In my camera, do I look at myself? Do I look at the person? Do I look at the camera? I don't know.
Yeah, interviews are probably like the most scary part about the whole process of applying for co-op, but certainly a thing that you can practice and get better at with time, and it won't be as intimidating with the more that you practice. And it'll help you with your communication skills, which are also like a big thing whenever you go into your first co-op. My biggest tip would just be communicate with your superiors, whether that is a manager, whether that is a senior, if you're in audit, which most students will go to audit. Definitely communicate with them, because otherwise you might be lost when they could have helped you, and then it'll just delay whatever you're doing. So
it's just kind of nice to just kind of get again, there's like, it's just like, it's no problem asking for help. I feel like they're not expecting you to know everything. It's why it's a co-op. They want you to learn. I find that most of the co-op experiences are always like, what do you want to get out of this? Like, what do you want to learn? So it's kind of nice, but don't be afraid to talk to your superiors in that sense, which is really a big tip as well. And I guess that kind of is like perfect to like, so what was your co-op position? Like, where was your last one? You've done 2 now, right? Or just 1?
I've done 2, but they were at the same company.
Oh, okay, cool. So where were you working?
I was working at Ernst & Young.
Okay, nice.
It's an audit firm, and I was working downtown as just as staff, audit staff.
Nice.
I was working in the financial sector, so I got to work with TD mutual funds. I got to work with some smaller clients as well, but definitely a great experience. And as you said, please go in not with the mentality that you have to know everything. The expectations for especially a first-time co-op are very low. So just make sure that you make the most out of it. Obviously, just be professional. Try to learn as much as you can. Go with like a learning mentality, I would say, of trying to learn as much as possible and trying to make those connections. It's a perfect opportunity for you to network as well.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you look at the positive side and try not to be completely overwhelmed by how scary it is or how intimidated you might be by the whole experience.
Yeah, I know. I think I always like joke about it, but I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to go to my big girl job. But it's like, it does feel like that, doesn't feel like that level of intimate, like I'm working 9 to 5, like this is crazy. Like, it's kind of a different way of going about it, but I think it's still, it can be intimidating, it can be nerve wracking. It's not something that you're meant to just be like,
yeah,
I got this. Like, it's obviously like the whole point of it. I feel like the big point of co-op is just to like try and learn and figure out what you're good at, because I feel like the expectation of like knowing exactly what you want out of life right when you get into university is a huge ask. So that's kind of a fun thing that you get to like experience, and they get paid. It's just like, it just works out so nice. Are you a part of any clubs in like SAF, or like just like in general, like in the university, that you like getting involved in?
I used to be part of this club called Stocks Club.
Oh.
And it was founded by I guess an alumni now. I'm pretty sure he graduated, but he reached out to me and he was like, oh, would you like to be part of the Stocks Club? So I am a huge fan of the club. I just didn't get around to continuing with it because of just conflicts with my own schedule, but it's an amazing club, and especially for people who like more finance and want to get to know more about stocks.
Yeah.
But that used to be the club that I used to be part of. Currently, I'm not part of any clubs now.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so like my last question, because we always love a fun question at the end, is where is your favorite place to study on campus?
Ooh, my personal favorite is DC, but only because
that's like an unknown answer. I feel like I haven't gotten that one a lot. Sorry, keep going.
No worries. It's only because of the blue chairs that they have.
You know what? You're so right. I like going to the one at the SLC just because of those egg chairs.
Oh my God, I call them the vector chairs.
Oh, I'm calling them from now on. That is so good. I'm gonna wear an orange jumpsuit and just, oh yeah. Just have like the whole thing. It's so good. I was like, oh, like every time we would, because they're always taken. There's only like 9 or 10, I would say, but I'm always like,
I know, they're so comfy too, and they have like the perfect view of everything. I really used to love them, but my thing is that I get distracted really, really easily.
Oh, that'll do it.
So the thing with DC is that like you're in a small cubicle, and that forces me to not look at anything else. So I just put on my headphones and then just start studying.
In the full work mode.
But also, even here, 3rd floor at Hagee, if you don't want to go too far, if you're like coming just out of class and you don't want to go walk all the way to like a library or something or some other place, 3rd floor, Hagee Hall, like old Hagee, has this really nice place that's like a silent study area.
Oh, nice.
And if you're lucky, you might get a good piano player to give you like background music like from downstairs.
Yeah, no, I know. I love going to like Hagee Hub with like, just like if I'm not doing like silent study, if I'm doing more like group study with like friends, I like going in there and like someone always goes on the piano and I'm like, I want to go, but I cannot play piano. It would be like the do 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 do. That's all I like managed to accomplish. So I like when like people who are like going on and on.
I know, it can be a bit frustrating though when they're practicing, like very visibly practicing. So you're trying to study,
like, no,
and they're just hitting the wrong key, and it's just awful. But it's an experience, you know. It's definitely a SAF experience.
Very good. But no, those the DC spaces are actually really cool. I know they did like a was it like the Wes Anderson video, and they really got some good shots, because DC just like, it reminds me of like a jungle gym low key, like with all the pipes and everything, like the way that they built it. What's your biggest tip for incoming or prospective students or students interested in the program?
Just have fun in your first year. Enjoy. Obviously, try your hardest in all the classes, but first year will be a transitional year. It might be hard, and you might get stumped on some things, but just try to make friends, try to get involved as much as you can on any of the clubs, working, however it is that you choose to get involved with the school. But that is like the perfect year for you to like balance between like studying and just being a student, like the university life.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like totally off topic because I just remembered it now. You're in 3rd year, so are you doing specializations?
I am.
Okay, so what specializations have you picked?
I chose the CPA route.
Okay, nice. So you're doing the accounting specialization. Are you just doing the one?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I thought about doing another one, but I was told by the academic advisor that it can be very challenging. So instead, I'm just picking things that I wanted from the other specialization, like cool. A bit of like some courses from there.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's nice.
And just sticking to the CPA.
But I think we're good. So thank you so much for coming today.
No worries. Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad. Okay, well, tune into our next episode on Buzzsprout, and you'll be able to listen to Aline's episode. Super slay. Have a great time. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, and we'll see you for the next episode.